Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. Witness me! And we've got Jordan
That
Christensen on
was
the
the first
podcast.
one. Does he say it again?
He says in this movie too. He's
Oh,
like, pick out any war boy, any one
I
of them. He's
remember
like,
that. I just don't remember
that
him
one.
yelling "Witness me."
Witness me!
That was a good. Uh, yeah. um. Furiosa.
Was that in this movie? I think that was the last one.
What? No, it wasn't.
What are
She
you,
wasn't
the
even
movie
in it.
quote police? All right. No, I'm kidding. And we got special guest Eminem on the podcast. Also, the real Slim Shady. Please stand up. Also known as Cameron Mickle.
Where are you going so full of hope? There is no hope.
Oh, dude, I forget Immortan Joe. I love that voice, dude. It's like so deep and resonant. And then you have like cartoonish buffoonery from like Chris Hemsworth, who's just
Yes.
like, ready, steady, go. Yeah. He sounds like a 60s movie villain, or maybe like a 40s villain with the cigar. Oh, wise guy,
I
giant
love
nose,
it.
buck teeth. Ready, steady, go. Anyway, so
I loved it.
yeah, it was great. It was over the top. So, guys, if you haven't picked together, or gals, whoever's listening, ladies and germs, we're reviewing Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, a Mad Max Saga with 3.4 seconds of Mad Max in it, which is good. This is more of like a Furiosa story, you know? So this movie came out in 2024. It's in theaters now, directed by our boy George Miller. And I say our boy because if you pay to go to the movie theater twice to see your movie, that's successful. So he's my
It
boy, George
it was
Miller.
really fun because I was playing Fortnite with Nathan Wild and Kevin Wild, and Nathan was like, "Hey, do you want to go see the new Mad Max movie?" And Kevin is like, you talking about?" Well, no, his brother said, "Do you want us to go see the second Mad Max movie?" And he's like, "Oh, you mean the fifth?" And he's like, "What?" Because
Yeah, this is like the fifth entry in this world, right?
yeah, and I think there's a few. I mean, at least there's one that didn't have any idea that there was like an original three with Mel Gibson. So
Yeah. Gosh, I gotta say, in this time we live in, I really wish they would just bring Mel Gibson back to be like he could do it in Morton Joe. He could do like a new guy, right? They should bring back Mel Gibson. I feel like people would love that. Heck, it probably would have done better at the box office if that was the case. I mean, I can't explain it, guys. We live in a weird time right now where it gets 90% from audience, 90% from critics, and it's like it's failing at the box office. Like people are just aren't going to movies these days. It's crazy. But
That's weird.
I mean, again, it's like a Mad Max story, and it's like, oh, it's not going to feature Max or feature. Like I said, he's in it for 3 seconds, which I
yeah,
thought was fine. But like, anyway, let's get into Furiosa. What was it like watching this movie for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast? So I went to the theaters because I was like, you know what, between this and Planet of the Apes, I'm kind of glad, Cameron, that you went and saw Planet of the Apes because I was like, if it's any good, I'll definitely go see it. You gave it 2 stars. Bryce saw it. He didn't like it. So I'm like, yeah, so I guess it wasn't worth seeing. And again, I didn't even know it was coming out until like 2 weeks before it actually came out. Like, if that. And it was like, oh, the new Ape movie. And I'm like, like, eh. So,
Eh,
eh. Like, I mean, I was like, if I got the sense that they had any new themes to delve into that story, maybe I'd be interested. It seems like it's over, already played out. But
Yeah,
how about you, Jordan? What was it like watching this movie?
it's hard to beat the jibber
from
jabber from what's his name?
from from Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson in what? Oh, in 2012.
And War of the Planet of the Apes, where
Oh,
he literally
War.
like gets the virus and he like can't speak, starts
Transitions to
reverting
ape,
back to being an ape. Yeah.
That's right. I never saw
Oh
it,
my
so I was like,
God.
"What are you talking
You
about?"
never saw War of the Planet of the Apes?
I didn't even like Dawn, so
Which you're insane. It's like the
the only
best of
good
them.
part was Gary Oldman. He was in it too little. Just like you guys complained that Anya Taylor-Joy was in this movie too
Yeah,
little.
but there was still Andy Serkis given the performance of a lifetime playing a chimpanzee, and Koba, one of the greatest movie villains of all time,
He was pretty good. All right, I'll give you
riding a
that.
fetching horse through fire. Guys, need I say more? Why are we talking about that? That
With
movie
double
kicked
machine
all.
guns.
This movie kind of kicked some butt because Fury Road is better. Anyway, let's get into Jordan. What was it like watching this movie for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast?
Yeah, saw it in the theater with Chamber or now Eminem, which I can't look at you and not think of that song, and I got stuck
Formerly
in my
known
head.
as some of
Formerly
the real
known as
shady. Please stand up. We don't have a
uh
problem here.
I I absolutely loved it. It was funny because I wanted to hear Cameron's thoughts, and he's like, "What'd you think?" Okay, gotta go. He went and got his haircut. Um, so so I didn't really get a chance to hear his thoughts, so I'm excited to hear his thoughts on the pod. But I absolutely loved it. Thought it was a blast. I didn't have any problem. Well, the only in the smallest little
Single
nitpick, which
problem
I'm
with it.
skipping ahead to our nitpick section, but
Yeah.
was I just can't stand de-aging. And so there was just that one guy from Fury Road, and he was the dude with the teeth. Remember the bullets? He takes the teeth out. It's one of the brothers.
Yeah, he runs the bullet farm.
Yeah, but maybe in the future, but not in this movie. He wasn't
Yeah,
running the
yeah,
bullet farm.
yeah.
But anyways, he was de-aged, and Cameron even turned to me and he's like, "Is he CGI'd?"
I was
Yeah, he
so
did look. He
confused. I
looks a
was
little
like,
waxy. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's because also he was just doing those movements of like his face was like,
yeah.
and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I can't stand de-aging. They did the same thing in Blade Runner 2049, and I'm just like, stop.
Or the greatest movie of a generation, The Irishman, where you get to watch
Oh, I couldn't
feeble
even.
old Robert De Niro hobble around and beat somebody up with like withered elderly hands.
I couldn't even stand
Yeah, that was
that.
weird.
Yeah.
And Joe Pesci. Well, not only like the de-aging, but they
So,
also try to age him up. And I'm like, dude, you
okay,
got both ends of the
I
spectrum
just
that are looking weird. Benjamin Button over here.
I just have one thing I'd like to say about that is just let him be old. I don't care about continuity. I'm sorry, but they did it in Breaking Bad's movie when that one character was
Jesse
big.
Plemons. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like big and stuff, and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
care. He didn't
Yeah.
lose the weight. That's fine. I don't. It's who cares.
Dude, we love Jesse Plemons. We don't fat shame here. Jesse
I
Plemons, I'm as big as you are, man.
I
I'm your
and
biggest fan.
I I'm your biggest fan.
But I don't care if you
I
keep going. Yeah, who
and I
cares?
just yes, please stop de-aging. It's horrendous. I can't
Well, what
stand
about
it
bringing actors back from the
because
dead to make them star
it
in films that they
I
can't even
know.
be a part of?
It
That's
takes me
insane.
out of the film, and all I'm doing is staring at his face like, why? I just
It's that uncanny valley. You're like, why are you doing this? You
I
could have
know.
been put this money toward a cooler stunt,
And I
or
can't
something else.
focus on the movie because I'm just like thinking about like, why did you do this?
Why did you do this?
Anyways,
All right,
so
Cameron,
only
how about
nitpick.
you? What was
Loved
it
it.
like watching this movie for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast?
Yeah, watching it for the pod was my first time. Watched it in the theater with Jordan. I was going in with pretty low expectations because I'm not the biggest fan of the Mad Max world. Fury Road is definitely
Famously, sorry, famously not a fan because I think we
Fury.
berated you about this. Made you
Yeah,
watch all
Fu-
Mad Max movies.
yeah.
Mm.
Fury Road is
He
definitely
hasn't
in
seen the
my.
third one, so not all of them.
Oh, Thunder. Oh, geez. Yeah, you spare yourself,
I
Cameron.
thought I saw the third one. Are you sure?
Thunderdome?
Thunderdome.
No. We watched 1 and 2.
Oh, Cameron, you would know.
It
Oh
all just
yeah,
blended
you would.
together. It was way too much leather. My brain just
Too
can't
much
separate
leather.
them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then like Fury Road is in my top 150, and like I was really impressed with it, and so I was just kind of going
Heck
in with
yeah.
those things like an expectation of like a mix of that with the first two that I had seen. But yeah, I was at first disappointed and then later impressed. I just my initial I was expecting more. It's hard because Mad Max Fury Road is so quick paced for me that when there was like so much setup in this one, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Like just because of how much I already know about the world, that it just kind of felt like, and I understand that the reason they did this was kind of to set more for the people who maybe haven't seen any of them or have only seen Fury Road to kind of set more of like the lay of the land. But for this being like my fourth movie in the franchise, I was kind of like, oh, we're spending a lot of time on just kind of like what the world is like. I'm pretty aware of kind of the surrounding politics, and so that's why I just felt like it took a while to get into the action. But once it did get into the action, it
Sorry.
was like,
The politics. Bullet Farm leader, the greenery leader, and the gas town leader. They fight, they pillage.
yeah.
What's not to get here? The politics aren't that complicated. I totally agree with you, Cameron. It's
Yeah,
like
and so it was just kind of one of those things because it's the same thing. Like my biggest gripe with Fury Road is that the plot is they drive that way and then they drive this way back. But I'm like, but because
Cameron,
it wastes,
don't insult the plot. It's
but
so good. It's so
but see,
simple. That's why it works.
because it starts off like swinging and it's just like go go go. That's why I let that slide. It's just because I'm like, okay, but like we're jumping right into it. But that's kind of like what you're saying. Like this one, they like kind of overcomplicated, like it's a Game of Thrones like plot, and then it was just straight up like, oh, we just gotta explode these people. And I was like, why was there an hour and a half
We're just gonna
setup
do
for this?
boom boom and
Yeah,
get rid of the
exactly. I'm
enemy.
like, why was there an hour and a half of like setup of like her arc and stuff like that just to kind of get to that? So that was my only, but once
Only
it
to
got
like
to that,
kind of her arc, you know.
yeah. Well, I also was just kind of confused at like where certain characters kind of landed. Having seen Fury Road, I was kind of like, where does Chris Hemsworth play in this kind of thing? And then I'm like, oh, it's kind of like with her legendary story of like, this is how Furiosa got the name of like, yo, you don't mess with her. And so I thought that was cool at the
But she didn't
end.
get the name. She had the name in the green place. That was her name. Her name
Yeah.
has always been Furiosa. I don't know why they named her that. She
Furiosa.
didn't seem like an angry child. I'm just saying, I think Furiosa would have been a better name that belongs
It's
in
okay. I'm glad they didn't give us a
Morton Joe.
bad. I would have been fine with it. I would have been very upset if they gave us a cheesy like moment of Han Solo. Your name's Solo.
Sure, but like I think it could have been funny if it was like a degenerate with no teeth or Immortan Joe. He's like, "Oh,
Oh,
you're my woman, Furiosa."
because
I don't
she's
know. I think
like
that could have been kind of
she like
cool.
kills a guy and then they're like, ah, yes,
Yeah,
this is
like
your
Yeah.
name.
oh, you're,
But
you're so angry. You're a furious, like a Furiosa woman. A
but
See,
you're
I
a
furious
just didn't
girl,
want
so
that.
feminine version. Yeah, your
Furiosa.
pronoun. Your pronoun.
That was
Furious. Oh, Furioso would be male. Furiosa female.
my
Anyway.
letterbox review was, or when I Venmo Jordan, I said Furiosa, not Furiosa.
Oh, that's
But
cute.
that's great.
Yeah, but no, I
Well,
I thought it, I
my
thought it, I
review
thought it was
involved my. I want to hear your Mad Max name, so think about them. In my review, I was like, dude, if I lived in this universe, I'd be like, I'm Butt Crackus Sweats or something like that, because they had some ridiculous names, and
yeah.
they want to cut that out.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's just so funny. Anyway, yeah, let's get into it. Top two favorite things. I'll start. One, I really liked the set design pieces. I think they were cool. Like Chris Hemsworth doing a chariot motorcycle thing. Come on, that's freaking awesome. Like that's just a cool vehicle. He's got three motorbikes that act as like his chariot, his horse chariot. And it's just cool. And they're all tied together. It's like so impractical, but I'm like, that's perfect for this world, you know? And then two,
Which is ironic because it's such like a gasoline like ridden, like that gasoline is their gold, and yet he's like driving three different motorcycles, and everything is so over the top that it's like
it is.
makes it that much more like
Um,
funny that it's like this is the most precious ore, and yet like, and then you're just like expending it like over the top just to be like, yeah, look at my monster truck. Like when
just
he's like the choir of the things and he's just like getting all the engines to rev. I was just like, bro, what is going
Oh, I
on?
love that part. That was so good.
I liked, and then like the other thing was like the use of torture in this movie. I thought it was cool, like tying someone up every limb to a motorcycle. And then they did like the Dark Knight. We're gonna have tryouts, so it's like whoever can get on a bike and then drive away and tear apart their comrade. I thought that was kind of cool. So like the one chick like stabs and bites and claws the other guys and finally gets on the bike and he's like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, or a lady and gentleman or whatever. I just thought that was cool that like they're like, you can be in our gang, but you have to kill everyone else that you were with previously. I just kind of like that cutthroat. Feels like a pirate meets, it's just like a mafia, they want to know how
I am
bad you
your
want it.
man.
Yeah, I just think that
Die.
stuff's cool. I really do like that world building where it's like in this group, you can run with us, but you got to kill everyone else that you were with in your previous camp. Like that is ruthless. And that's just kind of cool. It sets up the tone of the villain of the group that we're hanging out with. So
That chick reminded me of the like the guy with the sliced off nose in The Northman. I
Mm.
just thought of like when they did like the
Mm.
callback later of just seeing her face and you're like, oh, well, that scar did not age well.
yeah, yeah, it looks like what's her face? Like on a what is it? Mortal Kombat character,
Yeah.
just like a disfigured woman, like beautiful otherwise, and then you reveal the face and like, hey. So anyway, what are your two favorite things, Jordan?
Sorry, this makes me think of Scary Movie, the first one where he makes the girl, or is it the second one where he makes the girl wear a bag over her head because she's terrifying, but
That's
she
the
has a
second
smoke.
one. That's the second one.
That's the second
But
one.
she's got a gorgeous body. Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, getting into some of my favorite things. I just I know Cameron was kind of joking about the world building, but personally, I absolutely love it. I feel like this is just a story, kind of like a side quest almost, which for
A saga,
me,
if you will.
yeah. And I know I complained last week about the 2 episodes I hated from that
X-Men show.
X-Men, yeah, because they did side quests. Atrocious. But this one, like, I love this universe, and the first 2 films are my absolute favorite. And I'm not as much of a Fury Road head as Cameron and Ty, but I do appreciate it, and I
Nice.
did enjoy it because George Miller has such a gift,
I
and
think
I
you may
just
have overhyped it like the Batman, though. You watched that trailer so many times and you were so ready to see it, and then I guess it just didn't live up to your expectations, maybe.
no, it was just it met my expectations. Like it was
I can't
good.
believe you like this better than Fury Road. That's
Yeah.
insane to
Like,
me.
if you
Yeah,
need any proof that this movie isn't as good, at the end of Furiosa, they're like, remember this kick movie? Like, they show in the credits the entire Fury Road and the best scenes. And I'm like, why am I watching Furiosa? I should go watch freaking Fury Road
it did
again.
make me excited to rewatch Fury Road,
Yes. Yes. Now you'll
but
have a greater appreciation for it.
maybe, but I just love this film so much. Like the
Yeah.
world building is exactly what I wanted, or actually better than I wanted, especially because watching the trailers, it just looked like there was a lot of CGI, which there was, but I was kind of able to look past that because the story was fun and there was plenty to enjoy. Like, holy cow, me and Cameron, we're talking about the parachute parts. Like that car scene was so exciting and so fun.
Little
So
spinning ball and
yeah.
maze chains, you know.
Yeah. I just love that stuff.
Hyperdrive or
It
whatever they called it. Yeah.
it
Dude,
made
the
me
fact.
feel like a kid again, and because I grew up on Indiana Jones and that was like my favorite show. I mean, movie of all time was the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So it's just it kind of made me feel like a child again.
Mm, all
Just
right.
all the action. Loved it. So
Instead of
Love it.
killing Nazis, it's
Well, these guys were very, very little, except the one big guy. I guess that was his name. He was like, "Hello, little girl," you know. And then she's like, "I'm gonna spend all night making this wig so he can like grab my hair and I can run." But
great. I loved it.
like, I know, but it's like all that work. She carefully made that wig.
Well,
Did it
and
do
to stay
anything?
looking like no, but to stay looking like a boy, and then she just spent the rest of the time. Oh, but then she did
I
let it
understand
grow
why
out
she.
again.
I
Oh.
understand why she's. Well, no, I don't.
She
I
wanted
don't
to look like a
understand.
war boy.
No, but she used it so
but
like
what if
she
he
could
grabbed her by the
escape.
neck?
Yeah, well, I didn't even understand. Like he's like touches her hair. Like but all she does is just sprint off, and I'm like, you could have done it with your hair or without your hair. I just didn't understand what benefit it gave her. Like I
I
thought
think
for
just in the
sure.
beginning, it made her look more like a boy, and
That's I thought it was for to be a war boy. She was trying to hide
Well,
amongst the
why
war
did she
boys.
wear the fake wig though?
because then he would have known that she shaved. But yeah, but then the moment he pulls it away, he should have known. But he's also like borderline
I,
on the spectrum.
No, but
I
I
thought it
guess
was. I thought it was to at first. I thought it was to confuse him. So when he's like, "Ah, a boy,"
where's the girl? Yeah, yeah. I'm not. Ew. Yeah, you sick freak. I'm not. Freak. I'm not. Jeez. Gosh, I'm
I
not
gotta,
sick.
I
I'm
gotta
not
cut all
demented.
this.
No, do not cut any of
Uh,
that. That is perfectly acceptable.
uh,
I'm not a freak. I'm not. What's
yeah.
wrong with you? You can't edit any of that out. I'm telling you. Anyway, that's my best material right there.
Heine's that
My
stricken
point
from the
is,
record if he ever
what
wants
I
to work
thought.
another day in his life.
What did I say? Do you guys happen to disagree
No,
with me? It's
I'm
a
just
No,
saying
joke.
if
he's
that
joking. Scott.
that quote taken out of context, I'm not
Yeah, that's
Ty
this guy.
Christensen.
Quick, am I reading too much into it? He's clearly like, right? That was
Oh,
clearly.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay,
Yes.
so it was insinuated. So yeah, he's got to.
100%.
If anything, take your beef up with George Miller. He's the one putting this movie. I didn't
No.
make this movie.
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh, I was saying you saying the exact quote saying like
Oh,
Gosh,
that taken out of context of you just saying that is what would get you fired.
let's not spend a whole
Well,
podcast talking about this, please.
No. 1 second. Who would be taking it out of context in the review of the movie Furiosa? Anyway, fine.
I'm saying
This is
you're
funny.
the one that said the line.
Yeah, anybody
Yeah.
could take it on TikTok and just cut that
Yes,
part with you.
And
Guys,
then the clip is
the people that
is
listen to
tied-
this podcast don't have TikTok. We don't have people that listen to this that isn't our family. So if they take us down, they're going down with us. I don't know why you guys are like, someday people are going to listen to this. It's never happening. Our moment has come and gone. We've been doing this for 3 years. Nobody's listening. Anyway, and I love it. I'm just going to start saying what I'm saying. And if it offends people, go for it. I don't
I'm
care.
not
You come
worried.
at me.
Never
I'm
mind.
self-employed. I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be worried about it either. because I'm making a joke about a weird scene in a movie.
Okay.
Moving on. Moving on. What I thought was going to happen was she was shaving her head so she could leave the head on the wig of hair in her bed, and so she could sneak out. He would come and see her hair and start stroking it, and then pull it back, and then it's attached to a bowling ball or something, and she fled. She's not in her
because
bed.
there's bowling in Mad Max.
I don't care.
We know
a
what you need.
freaking
A
circular thing, a caliper for a car. That's circular, Cameron. A pillow. I don't care. Whatever it is she's sleeping in. So he would think that she's there, but she snuck out. No, she's literally standing there wearing this fake wig, and then he's like ready to stroke her hair and pulls the wig off, and then she just runs. And I'm like, you didn't need to leave the fake wig behind. I guess it gave her like 1 second advantage head start because he was like, what the frick? What am I holding on to here? It's her wig. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't see what
We
advantage it
understood
gave her.
from the get-go.
Other than I get what you said about hiding after the fact. Makes sense. I'm just saying in that moment, it didn't do her any good to wear the wig.
We get it.
Could have shaved her head and still ran off.
Yep.
So to me, it's like there's no setup, there's no pay. It's like, hey, I took all this time to she shows her cutting her hair with a freaking piece of glass or
Jordan,
something.
I loved
like
it. It made sense to me. I thought she was trying to be a war boy. I love the scene where the
understand
hair
that.
falls on the tree branch and it grows. It was a fun jump.
That's funny that you say that because I enjoyed that too. I enjoyed like the tree branch and the passage of time. And I'm like, now we're gonna see her as Anya Taylor-Joy. But then it's still the child actor, which I thought was interesting. But then they every scene they kind of aged her up. Did you guys notice that? Or am I crazy?
I didn't notice that, but I heard them talk about it in Red Letter Media.
Yeah, But I noticed it because I'm looking at Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm like, that's not Anya Taylor-Joy. The first time you see her after all this time passage, they still have a hybrid between the actress. They got a great young child actress that looks a lot like Anya Taylor-Joy, who also kind of looks like Charlize Theron, I guess.
Exactly why I'm glad they didn't de-age.
No, but they did though. They clearly did. They morphed two actors.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm glad they didn't CGI
full on
her
DH.
face onto the young child like they did in what's the creepy baby.
I don't know. They can do
Twilight.
Twilight. But that's a full CGI. They did it with Captain America, right? They put Chris Evans's head on a smaller body. Still looked pretty good,
yeah,
convincing.
that surprisingly looks okay.
You can
that was
certain things
yes,
with,
that was
face
Benjamin
swapping
Button or Martian. The Martian when Matt Damon is on that body because he is out in space and he's starving to death.
They found some meth head on the street and they're like, hey, come here. You'd be a perfect body double for Matt Damon. He's been on Mars forever. It's like, I pooped myself. And they're like, get that needle out of his arm. Now get him to act. Walk to this marker, to this marker. Good. We got the shot. Get out of here, you homeless bum. Buy some more smack and inject it right into your eyeballs.
Or they could do what they did when the original Mad Maxes and he just gives the people beers to borrow their trucks.
or what are this freaking creepy whole people that come out like, hey, come back here, child. It's like I'm treating you with maggots. Okay.
Get that chick away.
I have some things. Has everyone said their two favorite things? Cameron, so you go ahead. Say your two favorite things.
Similar to Jordan and kind of what Ty mentioned with the set design, except just more specifically in that one scene, I was just because my favorite parts of Fury Road were some of the insane stunts and kind of just the actions that happened with the cars and the spikes and how they use different ways to blow up cars, do this and that. And I thought it was so cool how they had the parachutes, how they had people with the glider. For me, it just seemed so. It made so much sense because it's these are people trying to be ingenuitive in this time of chaos where it's your entire goal is to just essentially
ingenuitive, Cameron.
Yeah, that's a word, right?
Ingenuity.
It sounded like you combined intuitive with ingenuity or something.
Ingenuitive.
Ingenuitive.
No, ingenuitive. I'm pretty sure that's a word.
If it is, color me surprised because I believe the word you're looking for is ingenuity, but ingenuitive is an adjective.
Like I said, I think you can find the two words.
Yeah.
Let's just say I'm not gonna take grammar lessons from you two. Anyway.
Whoa, Cameron. I'm just
it's ingenuitive, possessing ingenuity, or ingenious.
Can clearly say that I'm not ingenuitive because I didn't know what the heck you were talking about for a second there. I'm sorry I held up the podcast. Thank you. That is the word of the day. Ingenuitive.
And so I was just very impressed with all the different ways that they're because essentially those people's entire purpose, it reminds me of Tusken Raiders or whatever, just scavenger people where it's your entire purpose is to figure out ways to better like stop like the packages and like the carry on. And so I just thought it was so cool that they're like, we have to find different ways to try to stop this like this essentially like this, I don't know what's the word to describe it. This semi,
Raiders?
yeah, this
Convoy.
like tank, yeah,
The war
convoy.
rig.
Yeah, the rig. That's what I was looking for. And what I love too is that the people also adapted to creating defenses against the people who are attacking them. And so it's fun how you see like the spikes on the back, but then also how like they have like the pole that keeps going back and
Yeah.
that they can jump and then like throw things at people. I just thought things like that were like super cool. And then the thing that like I really liked, but at the same time I was kind of like just confused at some of the actions, was I loved when like they tracked down Furiosa and that chick was just sniping people. I was like, oh snap, go off. And then but I was just confused at why, like, I don't know, I guess why she didn't kill Furiosa, or also why the people didn't like try to get the info of where she came from. I don't know, like
Why
Chris
they
Hemsworth.
didn't kill? She didn't kill Furiosa. Like,
Yeah, because my assumption was that what's her name got sent to save Furiosa, or and maybe I'm misreading. I thought it was like, if you don't capture her, you have to kill her so that no one can ever find this place. That was
Ne-
my understanding.
I never
oh no
got
no no! I
that.
thought they were saying you got to go kill those people because they know about our place.
For sure. But
Yeah.
then I was saying, but then if you can't capture, if you can't rescue her, you have to kill her because she knows how, like how to get home and where to get home to.
Oh,
That was
interesting.
that, that
I never caught that. That's interesting. If
that
they
was
were
what
like
I thought,
sacrifice
and
her,
so
that's
I was just
messed up.
I
Yeah.
was just kind of confused at why she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna let them capture her," and that was also I was confused at why they didn't like Chris Hemsworth didn't press her more and wasn't more like, "Yo, why, like
Well,
where did you
he was
come
playing the
from?"
long game, right? He's like using his charm. He's gonna outwit this child, right?
But
He's
then he
like,
never never ever followed up again later of like, "Take me to where
well,
you."
No,
that
they did.
night doesn't she escape
No, no,
with?
no. So what ended up happening, and I thought that too, Cameron. But then, as soon as I think he thought that big place was the green place, because she pretended to kind of be a mute, and then as they were headed in that direction, they came across the other green island, and then they're like, "Ooh, this is the place she must have come from." No, but then they knew later on that she wasn't from there. So
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
that was why I was just confused at why
No,
like.
I think they thought she was from there because when they got there, there was like green stuff and all sorts of stuff when they went up top and there was water and
But
I
no
guess
one
I get what
knew
you're
her.
saying. So you're saying, yeah, like
well,
Because I was just confused at
yeah,
why like.
but Cameron, the whole city is kind of in ruins, like all the people, and then up top they didn't know her, but that's because there's only certain people that can go up there.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Um,
It was just confusing to me at why like this like essentially they found like this is the Holy Land where there's water and for like all this fresh, and then it's like, oh, this girl won't tell us where it is, so I guess we give up.
well, I
I'm
thought because she was a
I,
mute, quote unquote. Didn't they think she was a mute? Now I have to rewatch it. I don't know.
I guess I'm gonna have to go pay to see another ticket just to understand this movie, the politics of it all.
No, yeah,
Jeez.
but I thought that opening scene was of like her tracking her down was really cool. It was also funny because I was like, it's the same girl from Anyone But You, and it's just in such a different role where she's like instead of some like um just crazy Australian chick, now she's just like this like bad A, almost like Amazonian like warrior like Wonder Woman. I was like, okay, and she was just like lethal with the sniper.
You know what I saw it as, Cameron, too, and I don't mean to come back to this, but I just saw them looking for a place to survive and live, and then they found that place by going to the bullet
Okay.
farm because
Maybe one
it's
thing led to another too, because he
yeah,
was like, "This is my daughter," and then he's like, "Well, I want her," and he's like, "Fine, I get to run Gastown. You get to take her as your prisoner, and then you also get my medical man." But now I'm running. I've got my thing going on here, but I like I said, with Cameron mentioned not pressing her, I think he was playing the long game because he's like, "Oh, I'll be the good guy, bad guy." Like all these guys are around her, she's
no,
probably scared. He's like, "Go back to the tent,"
no, they
and
were
then that
literally
night they
headed.
break her out. Yeah.
No, they were literally headed to go to her place,
I
and
remember
then
after that they escape, they get stuck in that crevice. She's shooting as many people, they crucify her or whatever they do to her.
but
And then
on their
yes,
way to her
she
place,
runs right into town. That was the same thing. I guess she would have died, but she had the motorcycle. I didn't understand that.
it, yeah,
It's like, keep driving, you have the map.
I don't know. It's a
Sorry,
little
I don't know if
thing.
she didn't have a map.
I loved it all. It's perfect.
But no, so
And you
well,
too complained about not Anya Taylor-Joy not being enough. I thought she was.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
That's what I said. I don't think.
I heard
I
Anya.
thought. I thought she was
Anyan?
fine.
Anyan Taylor-Joy?
Anya.
Anyan? Anyan?
Because you just don't
Anyan?
like her, Jordan.
No, I do. Are you kidding me? She's
You
so
think
good in The Witch.
Yeah, you think she's all right.
No,
Yeah,
well,
wait, are
I
you
think
not an
she's
Anya
worked. I
Taylor-Joy
think
head?
I'm not as much as you guys. It
She's
worked
the
with
best actors working
she's
today.
worked with some of the best directors. Yes.
That's
Yeah, a
true.
better actress than Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh my
Are
gosh,
you
I'm not gonna
kidding me?
pull out my
Sandra Bullock?
list.
Sandra Bullock? I don't know. Her nose distracts me now, unfortunately.
And the fact
Okay,
that
well,
she
Anna
took
Taylor-Joy in 20 years is gonna have a nose
and
that's distracting as well.
I don't know. I don't think
no,
she's ever gonna age. She sold her soul to the devil, dude. Did you watch The
yeah.
Witch? Oh yeah, you didn't
Oh,
watch it. Too scary.
no, I was gonna say Sandra Bullock. She, I can never
Also,
get that.
Rachel McAdams is better.
I can never get the out of my head that interview when she used Korean baby skin to make herself look younger. It's the
You want
most.
to edit that out of the podcast? So controversial, Jordan. Jeez.
No, it's not. It's on Ellen, the Ellen show.
She used baby skin?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That it's freaky. It's
Mashed up little baby skin? Dude, what's wrong with you, dude? Gosh, we're here to talk about Furiosa, which is a disturbing enough movie as it is, and here you are going on talking about dead baby skin.
No, Ty,
I
I'll
did
send
not
you
want to-
I'll send it to you. I sent it to you
Jordan's
forever
like,
ago.
it's adrenochrome. They mash up little babies and then take up their life force, and then they stay young forever, dude. This isn't freaking Dr. Sleep, you psycho.
I'm not. It's literally on the Ellen
Folks
show.
that are listening, Jordan is wearing a tinfoil hat right now to prevent the brainwaves of
Oh, wow.
aliens and the government coming in.
That is so funny.
Jordan's hunkered down in his bunker and he's avoiding the chemtrails from jets flying overhead.
Why do they
Pizzagate.
call him Psycho Sam?
Put these on so they can't track you.
Never mind.
Was that red?
No, that's Hunt for the Wilder People.
That's
Oh, okay.
right.
Why do they call him Psycho Sam?
They're
Don't forget to
pushing
put these
forms on you.
hats on so they can't track you.
They're pushing forms. They push a form and there's a form for that. Then they get another form
Stop
for
filling
that.
out form. There's another form for that.
And then you fill out another form. All right, so let's keep going. There was
The best Taika Waititi movie, Jordan.
I liked the first war boy you meet. It's got the arrow in his head. I'm like, I don't even mean laugh. Like
There's
he's like
so
walking
many
the
good
desert,
details.
he's got
That
this
is such a
giant
great
arrow
moment.
in his head, and he's just like, oh yeah, just this way.
Where are you
Camp's this way. I don't
from? And
know.
he's just
It's like,
I love he asked, "Is this Valhalla?"
is this-
yeah, and he's like,
yeah, he's
what
like,
is
"I'm in
Valhalla? And then the guy explains, he's like, it's a place, a heaven for warriors. He's like, nope.
heaven." Nope. Yeah, dude, the guy with the tats all over himself is like the prophet. He's like, make yourself indispensable. He's like, learn stuff. I could teach you. I thought that guy was kind of cool.
Yeah, there's so many little details like that I absolutely love. Just like
Yeah,
the guy
make
that had
yourself
his,
invaluable so
Yeah.
Dementus doesn't kill you.
it's
right?
just I just felt like
Dementus. What a
like I
great
said,
name.
that was one detail of a million other details that I just felt like he was having probably a blast expanding upon this universe that he created. And I loved it. Every time they showed like another moment like that, I was like, yes, I am very happy to be living in this world.
I literally kept thinking in the back of my mind, though, this is a weird thing, but I'm like, how are they going to do this entire series without Furiosa? I kept thinking that. I'm just saying, in this world, like, even in the first one, if you're a guy or a gal, you're not part of the gang. So I'm just saying it's a little odd that it's like Anya Taylor-Joy is playing Charlize Theron, two of the most beautiful women on earth. But you got the sense that Furiosa, she had her arm cut off. You're like, dude, this girl has been through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I just assumed came with the territory. But with this one, it's like,
Well, if you
it's
watch
like,
it, yeah, if you watch his older
she's
movies,
fine.
yeah, you
But
watch
I'm
his
like,
older movies. I think he toned it back on these last two.
I just
first,
think you can't put that stuff in movies these days or something with
Yeah,
the
the
PC
first-
culture. Because I'll tell you what they can put into movies. In The Green Place, there's this giant whale of a woman. I thought it was Brendan Fraser from The Whale. Giant obese woman, and then there was a black guy, and then like I was like, there's all your diversity quota in The Green Place. And I'm like, what is that woman eating? They're in a post-apocalyptic world,
yeah.
and she is 300 pounds.
I'm like, how are they?
Do they
how
have
is that-
fudge rounds in The Green Place? I'm just
How-
amazed.
How is she?
how
How is
big
that
she was.
sustainable? Yeah.
How is that even sustainable? I can't even get that fat, and I've got Panda Express and McDonald's and Taco Bell, none of which are sponsoring the show, folks. But I just thought you should know.
Yeah, I actually
anyway,
thought the
Cameron,
same thing. I'm like, how is that woman
so
like?
yeah, I was surprised by the lack of in this movie, and I was surprised. Not that I wanted it. I just like, how are they going to deal with this theme?
I
You
came
know,
in
like
at the right time.
yeah, you stepped out. You didn't miss a lot. I was just explaining
My
like
scalp
You
is
don't
just
have
on fire. So I was
everyone,
just.
all these evil men, they still had like PC beliefs, I guess. Like
Mm.
I almost have a feeling that Dementus would still respect your pronouns and also be willing to rip you apart, you know? Like it's a weird balance, you know, that they're walking
Obviously,
here.
he had to cut some things in comparison to his older films. If you watch those older
He's
films,
a
Yeah,
they're
full
Cameron,
just
I made a
savage, Ty.
was that, I made the comment that I was like, yeah, like even if you were a man or woman, you by the gang. The first one, the guy, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then like it's like Anya Taylor-Joy and Charlize Theron, the most beautiful women on earth, and it's like, yeah, they're gonna be fine. Because I was like, everyone's just like, they're just there for bullets and gas. I'm like, and like women breeders, that was the whole thing in Furiosa. Like,
well.
seems
And
like
if you're
Immortan Joe
not a
kept these
breeder,
women for
remember
himself.
they make you into a milk.
I'll make a fine milkmaid. I was like, jeez, that's like the fate worse than death, dude. Just
She's
being milked and
hooked
being
up to a machine. I don't know why that's so.
That's so funny.
They did a
Dude, it's
similar
great.
episode in Trailer Park Boys. They turned them into.
Dude, now I want to watch Trailer Park Boys. That
I
sounds
love
hilarious. Too.
Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, one thing I didn't understand was like, so little Furiosa, she's now with the breeders. And so I was like, oh, Morton Joe is kind of a creep, right? Like he's like, I want her as one of my wives or whatever. But then like it's the other creepy big muscle builder guy. But then like when she's with the breeders, there's like 5 seconds where you see all the breeders. It's different women,
Some
it
of
keeps
them,
them
I
young.
think they were supposed to be the
At the
future
end,
girls.
yes.
Oh,
At
okay.
the end, it showed like the same actresses, and some of which were covered up in shawls. I don't know if they were pregnant or they'd let themselves go. Because after you get 21 in Hollywood, Hollywood wants
Oh
nothing to
my
do with you
gosh.
females. I'm just telling you as it is.
Or as it used to be. I think it's kind of shifting.
Yeah, maybe they'll allow as many as 24-year-olds in. I don't know. But after that, they hard cut, hard stop. After
Oh
that, you
my
play the
gosh.
geriatric old maid. You play Meryl Streep. You're like, oh, this is the dramatic role of a lifetime because she's not beautiful. She's an ugly old hag. But look at that acting. It's not me, folks. Look at your industry. That's Hollywood. So
Ah.
anyway, what I thought was weird was like when she was there, she had no interaction with any of these women. I just thought like for sure there was going to be like
Yeah, some relationship building
one
Oh,
justify
yeah.
one
to justify the
breeder.
reason why she would come back for them.
Thank you. That's my whole review. My biggest nitpick was like what's so good in Mad Max Fury Road. She literally says, "He's like, what are you in it for?" And she's like, "Redemption." And you're like, "Oh, what's that story?" I have no idea. I just watched all of Furiosa, and I'm like, "What was the redemption? Like, was she upset because she was kidnapped from the Green Place and she didn't get to live out her life?" If I'm not mistaken, doesn't the Green Place eventually dry up then? Because in Fury Road, there's a few ladies left with a few seeds. That's like it. So
I don't even
that
remember how
place
Fury Road ends.
No, just look at because remember she goes to the green place supposedly at the end, and they're like, "Yeah, there is no green place. The green place is back with Immortan Joe." And you're like, "What did they freaking do to the Garden of Eden, man? That place looked great. You had obese women, Cameron. You missed that. There was
That's
a
why,
giant
Ty.
chunky woman.
Yeah, she's been eating it
She's
all.
high. She ate it all.
And then
the fat chick at the beginning in the green
it's
place.
like
She
the Danny
ate all the food.
it's the Danny McBride part from The World End. They came in, all the food's gone.
She
and
made
she's
the
just
whole breakfast.
snacking
She's
on
like,
it.
I made us pancakes. I made us some rows of bacon. It's like, that was all of our supplies. You ate them all.
Then they had to resort to cannibalism. They ate each other and it ended.
True that, dude. Anyway, the symbolic religious, wasn't lost on me. Like the whole picking of the fruit was like the callback, right? It grows a tree at the end, but like as she gets kicked out of the Garden of Eden, if you will. I was like, oh, that's kind of good. Like I like the marauders at the beginning in the forest. They're like rummaging through stuff. She's like cutting their tires. I knew the guy was gonna appear, or she's gonna snap a twig, and then he's right there.
Yeah.
And then, she's running through the forest, and then the women are like, we gotta go save her. And then Cameron mentioned, you kill her if you can't save her. And I was like, I thought that was intense because I didn't know that was her ulterior motive was you got to kill Furiosa so she doesn't tell them about this place. Anyway, but like again, I didn't get any like character from her. She's like, oh, I'm picking fruit. Be quiet. I'm gonna snap all their fuel lines, and then like gets carried off. And she tries like I just wish she would have either been more aggressive and feral. But again, she's growing up in the beautiful green place. I didn't see what her relationship to anyone at the green place was. So why did she want to get back there so bad? And in the end, she never gets back there. So I guess it doesn't matter. But like,
Well, those are the
I
people
just,
she grew up with, like her family and stuff.
I know, but like, show her
Oh,
with some person that she was dying to get
yeah,
back to.
like
There
I
wasn't another chick there. It was
I already
like,
complained about this in Fury Road. I feel like there's not really any character connection. All it's just pure action, and so there's not really.
and it's not a problem. So I don't get what
Well,
the problem is here.
no, no,
What
no.
you're
I'm
saying.
just saying the reason why I like the first two better is because there's a lot more. At least the first one. Second one turns into what all of them become, which is just pure insane action. But the first one, there's actual like, oh, a wife, and you spent a little time with them.
Oh, I understand. I do have a wife, and she plays the saxophone, and the kid plays with a gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go back and watch the first one, Jordan. The movie does not hold up.
No, it does. I love it. I have
Uh,
rewatched it many times.
There's some good scenes, but as a whole, you're
I
right.
love it.
The action was enough to keep it going, but again, it less is more sometimes. So even like the word redemption, you're like, ooh, she's got a pass. She's trying to save these other women that have been
And then
in
I
Morton
watched
Joe's.
it. Oh,
And then I watched it and I'm like, yeah, but see, again, Cameron, you mentioned it perfectly. Why didn't she have one breeder that was like, oh, my
I
name is
agree.
this. I'm here to protect you. Or like, or she was like, do this, this, and this. And she gives her a rule to like survive or escape. And then she's like, I will come back for you someday. Or not even say it, but just have that in the back of her
Well,
mind where she's like,
redemption tie.
"What-
It's that connection she had with the guy, which I appreciated. I like that she had a connection with the one dude that got killed. Remember?
that was a nice relationship. But
Yeah.
again, she wants redemption to save the breeders because her guy was killed.
Well, yeah, just to get back the city. That's why she went back to the city and stuff and got it back. She wanted to
I
take
didn't mind
back.
that. What I'm saying in the Fury Road movie,
Yes.
they ask her, "Why are you trying to save these breeders?" And she's like, "Redemption." That's what I'm saying.
To
So
take
why risk her life to save these other women to get to the green place when she
give them what
could
she
like
never
in this
had.
movie it was
So,
great. She was escaping. She had her motorbike tied into the rig. I thought that was awesome. She had like
yeah,
her own
that
escape
was
plan, all
fun.
this food, and then these marauders and pirates come in and it just ruins
Ruin
her
everything.
plan.
Yeah.
And then she has to think on her feet and then like pretend like she was there to help the whole time. Thought that was cool. And then she meets the other guy. What was his name? Jack or something? Marauder Jack or something like
He
that.
looks just like. Is that the son of? Because they both had a cleft lip. Maybe it's just.
What,
I'm
Joaquin Phoenix or something?
no.
He's the only actor I can think that has a cleft lip. Who else has a cleft lip?
I'll find it. Give me a second.
Anyway, so I agree, Cameron. I thought there could be some callback because again, I thought the fruit was kind of a fun callback to then like the tree growing out of Chris Hemsworth's body, dripping water into his mouth. It's like getting drops of water,
His
sustaining
name is
himself, but he's like having a tree
Stacy
growing.
Keach. This guy. Do you recognize
Okay,
him?
I
No.
recognize that actor. Is he the guy that was in?
Is that his son though? That's what I'm
Played
wondering.
every racist cop ever.
I think Stacey Keach was he in the Bug movie? The
Well, I was
the
thinking of Road Games, but I
okay
doubt you
was the
guys.
Keach was Mr. Keach in the
Nebraska?
oh no, I was thinking of
He's
I
an
don't know.
is that the
American.
guy from the
He's an
Burbs? Is that
American
the
History
guy?
X. He's also the warden in Prison
Oh,
Break.
that's right. American History X. Remember, he was the creepy Nazi leader guy.
Yeah. And then he's also in Prison Break. He's the warden, I'm pretty sure.
What's the movie I'm thinking of? The Alien movie where they shoot all the aliens. Lederhosen, Paul Van Hosen. What's his name? Oh my gosh.
No.
Are you talking about the
Uh,
one? Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers. Thank you. Is he in that? Is
I
that the
don't
guy?
think so. Let
It's
me
not
just
Starship
see if he's got the same last name.
Was he in
Tom Burke.
Terminator?
No. Never
Terminator
mind.
Salvation? Was he the guy in Terminator Salvation?
Okay, he's not related. I thought he was. They just both
Thank
have
you
a-
for the derailing, but now I really want to know the actor. But anyway, was
they
he the
both
one in
have
Terminator Salvation?
I guess I thought all cleft lips look alike. I'm sorry.
It's like, hey, that guy's he
Oh my
must be
gosh,
related
I'm
to
cutting
it's
all
the
this.
only reason he'd have a job is because his parents were actors, he got a job. So anyway. Jordan doesn't think that you can have a physical deformity and make it in Hollywood. And he thought my
That
taste.
is not what I said.
Oh, well, you thought he was related
And
to the only other guy. I don't think if you have a cleft lip,
they
like
look a lot alike if
Cleft
you
lip.
look at them. They do.
Anyways, Jordan, Jordan or Ty, any final thoughts?
Whoa, final thoughts. I got so many more thoughts about this movie.
Yeah, Cameron.
What do you guys think? Like, did the action, the CGI take you out of it? It took me out of it a few times.
Yeah, I mean I like I said, I didn't love the CGI as much as, I prefer practical.
This would be my note. I think that he could have cut out 30, 40 minutes of this movie and like put it into like one final war or like a cool action set piece. Because I think they did like sprinkle throughout like fast paced stuff. like at the beginning with like being kidnapped to then tracing across the desert. I thought that was kind of cool. Like I liked the beginning of that. I thought it was leading to a war, and then literally they get to the war and they're like, and so it
Montage.
was. They fought. I actually thought like the movie was ending. I thought the movie was over
I
because
thought
they're
it was
like,
going to do like a part 2.
true. I also thought that like tune in for the war next. Yeah. Which I thought was odd that they like didn't, because I was also like, you have Chris Hemsworth who's like such a like an interesting character. They could have easily made him another movie, Dune Part 2. I was like, this is going to be another saga that keeps going. But it's like, no, this is a saga, literally one movie. And I was like, because it just felt so rushed at the end, right? Like, did you guys get that feeling? They're like, and then there was a war that broke out, and then they fought for days. And I was like, it reminded me of like the Testaments, or not the
Yeah.
Testament.
Honestly, I
the
thought
Ten
of
Commandments.
I
The
thought of
voice of Moses came out, or like whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, and then the children of Israel read through the
and
the
I loved
wilderness
it
for
because
years. Eh,
it happens.
I
That's
think it
just
was the
like
tattoo guy. Yeah, he was like prophesying
it
it.
honestly reminded me a lot of Dune, like just kind of history and just I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, just cars moving on top of the sand, not worms moving under the sand, right? Pretty much the same thing. It is weird though. Like we had like two big movies, or like big Hollywood blockbusters that were like both involving the desert. I guess Dune did well, but Mad Max Furiosa isn't seeming to do very well. But anyway, the action took me out of it a few
They didn't have
times.
Timothy Chalamet
Yeah,
and
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Everyone's like, I gotta see.
I would be happy if
Zendaya.
Anya Taylor-Joy had a bigger part as like Zendaya's part, maybe.
Dude,
Could see
Anya
her-
Taylor-Joy's coming in the next Dune, so
I
it's
know,
all
I know.
good.
Well, she was briefly in the last one, but anyway, the other thing I would say about Furiosa is like I didn't care. Like I think I liked Chris Hemsworth less and less as
Hmm.
like the movie went on. Like I liked him initially. I thought he was good. I thought like we were for sure gonna get that cliche moment where he kills one of his own guys. That scene never happened. Like at the beginning where he's like, "Oh, go to your tent and relax. Welcome to this place. No one harms her or whatever." And then like I don't know, I was waiting for him to be like, because he has like these bulldogs, and then like a great character moment was like when they go back to the mural that's painted at Gastown. Like there's like this beautiful mural there. He's like painting this
That was
gorgeous
cool.
painting. And then like they cut back to it years later, and it's like Chris Hemsworth has run this place into the ground. There's like smear paintings everywhere. The dogs are just eating anything. The people that come through to get the gas, they're like, people are on strike. It's crazy here. He's like, I'll get you out of the city, but he's like, you can't come back here. He's like, we need to meet, and we need to come up with negotiations. It's like you had a perfectly sustainable oil field, and somehow it's completely gone to crap.
I
Like,
loved that. That's
oh
so
yeah,
good
he
'cause-
mismanaged it. It's great. It's a
Yes.
funny thing.
yeah.
But see, I almost feel like Chris Hemsworth plays like really interesting and conniving, and then I guess it's just revealed like he doesn't know what he's doing.
No,
just
no,
feel
no.
like
I think
either-
what happened was he got more and more corrupt and kept more to himself and then didn't divvy it out amongst his people, turned his people against him.
I guess there's a little bit of that, but
That's what I
but
look
again,
like.
it was almost like he wasn't hated. Like he still had loyalist subjects.
Yeah,
that were willing
some,
to
but
die for
probably
him.
his closest people.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause,
everybody
yeah,
else.
you keep them above, but I don't know. I guess there could be some of that. Like we didn't, because I didn't get this, because he was still riding around in the city. No one was like trying to attack him. They were trying to attack the war rig that came in with supplies. They're like, give us everything. We're gonna starve, And it's like, dude, they're taking the cabbages, man. Get out of there. It's gone.
My cabbages.
And then they
Yeah,
had to leave without
Yeah, I was about
gas.
to say, Jordan, did it make you think of
Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah.
My cabbages.
Oh my cabbage.
And I liked the whole like there's a great scene too where they're like driving up, and the guy with the horns and the black mask, he's like, my guys are on the war rig, they're pretending to be war boys, and they're driving toward Gastown. They're like, don't open the gates. And then he's like, make it look convincing. And so he shoots one of his own guys, and he's like, oh, Dementus, you're a bad person.
Well,
I'll
and
never
see,
forgive you for this.
I
And then
love
like I don't feel like that got played out either. Like I
Yeah.
want to see some betrayal from
No, it
him.
did. And that they betrayed them. They showed up. Remember the people that are attacking? Cameron said it was the sand people, but actually it wasn't. The people that came to attack
Gastown,
was
Bullet Town.
actually that guy. He had that mask on. He was the one that and he
I never
had
said it was the
left.
Sand People. I said the Tuscan Raiders. What?
Sorry, it's the Tuscan Raiders, but I'm saying
No, but Tuscan Raiders are sand people. What are you guys doing? You guys are
Hey.
pulling my leg, right?
No, never mind.
Anyways,
Tuscan Raiders in Star Wars are the guys that hold the rifle over their head.
correct.
They're also called the Sand People.
I think they're called sand people.
Correct.
they're called Sand People.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Oh, but you took issue. You're like,
No,
Cameron
no, I
said the
think-
Sand People, and Cameron's like, no. I said Tuscan Raiders. They're the
oh my
same
gosh.
thing.
I love we're arguing
Yeah.
about like these little details that don't matter. anyways, what I was trying to say was,
The
They
brothers
attacked the
report.
rig on the way there.
so yes,
They're the ones that
the
attack.
ones with the parachutes, that was the guy you're just talking about right now. Remember, you're like,
Sure.
he shot his friend, and so he left their group. It even said, remember, the narrator said that they've split, and they're all fighting against each other.
Yeah, but
So that-
again, it still feels misplaced because he didn't have that scene where he was with. I thought Furiosa was going to strike a deal with that guy. They were going to team up or something because in the end, he's just attacking the war rig, which is headed to Gastown.
exactly,
But it's
he was
not
going to take
from Gastown,
no, but that's more important to them, taking the food,
taking their
and-
resources.
yeah,
from
and their
them.
resources, and then they don't have those resources, and then creating.
I guess it makes sense because then you get the action set piece. But again, the other thing too, when they finally get to Bullet Farm, it's like they've already been overrun, and like I don't know. I guess I don't know. I just feel like this movie was missing something.
Mhm.
And what I think it was, I
No.
think is less is more. I think this movie was too concerned about making like connecting the dots for you, whereas Fury Road, it was like just write it and feel it. There's very little dialogue, and you just got what the movie was about. Very little backstory, a few images here and there, how the world works.
I saw it
politics,
as
like you
just a
said.
director that loves his world, and he's just building it in this one.
No,
He
that's
might
fair.
be thinking, this might be my last film, so I want to build everything that I've had in my head, because he probably has pages and pages and pages of
But
just.
see, but maybe it's like, yeah, you had your best ideas with Fury Road, and now this is like the appendix or the epilogue, and
And I'm fine with that, for as somebody who's
prologue.
a
That's
geek for this world.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yes, give me more of the little. It kind of reminds me of just like Lord of the Rings, like all the little extra content that they cut for the theatrical
so
cut.
extra. So,
It-
quick question, Jordan, do you think they had it in them to make it epic? You have it in
I
you
thought
to make
that
it
was
epic?
literally somebody's review, and I loved that review because it was great.
I don't know.
Did
I
they
like I
have it in
said,
them?
I will not
I
pay
thought
to
they did.
see this movie twice in the theaters. I bought 2 tickets to go see Mad Max Fury Road. I went and saw it, and the next day I was like, I was back in the theater for more. That movie was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I won't see it again, but I will buy it when it comes out. And I did see
Sure.
Dune, though. I did see that twice in the theater.
I did too.
Oh.
I saw Dune 2 as well.
That was
twice.
unbelievable.
That was insane.
I saw it twice.
So
on
again,
IMAX.
so like great movies are still being made, and I guess I'm just saying, like, I feel like yes, George Miller, there this movie is fine. It's so sad when you watch a movie like Fury Road that I'm like, it freaking swept awards. I doubt this thing is winning anything. If anyway, one just seemed like it was fraught with challenges for sure. I think Fury Road took him 5 years to make. Tom
This
Hardy,
one
both
took
Charlize
about
Theron,
that
they were
long,
like, it was
too.
miserable. I don't think it took 5 years. It was like
Definitely took a
14
long
years later.
time.
Well, no, this movie didn't take him 5 years. I'll tell you that much. But anyway,
Would we
um,
recommend?
would you recommend Furiosa?
Cameron's like, please.
Bro, yeah, go see Fury Road, man. That movie's
If
just
you
so
if you
much
like any of the Mad Max movies at all,
Yeah.
then definitely like you need to watch.
fun. Yeah, this still ranks. I'd probably say second. Fury Road number 1. This probably be second, if not third.
I can't remember. The first one was
next one,
fun, but the problem is I thought the first one was like hilarious, but I don't know if I was supposed to think it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, it
unintentional
kind of
trauma.
reminds me of what's the other guy that's doing all the Avatar movies? It kind of feels like
James
that.
Cameron.
He kind of reminds me of James Cameron a little bit. He's just like spending a lot of time in his world, and he'll take
Yeah, dude,
years
they
and
asked
years.
George Miller. They asked George Miller. They're like, "Do you see yourself ever making another movie that doesn't take place in Mad Max world?" He's like, "No, the next 10 movies I'm gonna make are in the Mad Max universe." That'd be so funny. But in my opinion, I think what could benefit George Miller is if he does movies in this world, try not to make it so closely related where it has to like depend on lore. Just tell like a cool dystopian survival movie. I think it would be beneficial because part of me, like the suspense is taken out when you know some of these characters. You're like, oh, well, he's not in the next one, so he's obviously going to die in this movie, or she survives, like just things like that. But anyway,
Yeah, it doesn't say exactly how long it took, but I mean, there was 20 years in between those. Not 20 years. That doesn't make any sense.
it was like 14 years. I think the Mad Max movie came out like, oh, not 14 years. Sorry,
No. Fury
9
Road, that
years
was
ago,
like 9 years, something like that. Anyways,
Yeah.
I think he was still working. I don't know. Probably, yes, he probably didn't spend 5, but
2015. So yeah, that's literally like 9 years ago. He didn't spend 9 years making this movie. I'll tell you that much.
well, maybe he did because he might have been writing it and building it since then.
Nah, this was just all the movie stuff that he didn't get to use in Fury Road. That it's the deleted scenes, folks. I'm just saying.
Oh
The
my
movie's fine.
gosh.
It's a bit of a
I
letdown when
recommend
you
it.
watch Fury Road.
I highly recommend it. It's great.
Go see it.
It's a thrill ride.
You know, for a bunch of desperate men with not a
If
lot to
you
do, they're very, very pacifist and celibate men. So
Oh my
yeah, for
gosh.
that, it's good.
If
Not very. I'm
if you
just saying.
Oh my gosh, if you're like Ty and you compare it to Fury Road, then sure, it's not going to meet that expectation. But if
I'm
you're
gonna
just
watch Fury Road again,
in
dude.
it for a fun film, it's fun.
I'm gonna watch Fury Road again for sure.
All right,
Guys,
Cameron, hit
let's
us
share
up.
what we've seen lately. What are we looking forward to seeing?
I just started watching House of the Dragon because I don't know why it's taken me so long to get into
I've
that,
been
but
avoiding it too, so is it good?
yeah, first two episodes, like I forget how amazing the world is. Like episode
Well,
one, I was already like, holy crap, so much has happened, and I'm
well, did
already
you
so
know
impressed.
that those books were actually still written by that whatever his name is?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean it makes sense because it's like it's so well done. The characters are so intriguing and like just it's crazy to me the dynamics that they set up like in their shows. It's crazy to like it's just so interesting and they pose situations and questions that like it's so fun to talk about and yeah, I was just like I've been really impressed.
I'll watch it.
I'm on episode 3 and I would say first two episodes are probably
It's a prequel, right?
I would probably say 9 and 8 like so
Should I
far.
just
It's
watch
crazy.
this and
Yeah.
then watch
No,
No.
Game of
I
Thrones?
would recommend still watching Game of Thrones first, just because like it's kind of fun watching this after watching Game of Thrones, because then it's kind of fun to see like there's a lot of prophecies they talk about that you're like, oh, I see how this is fulfilled later in the actual show. Um, but
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna
oh,
sit down and watch 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. I'm sorry. It's a lot.
Just
it's
stop after
okay.
7. You don't have to watch the 8th season.
I'll just watch
And
7 seasons.
then I kind of watched actually a decent amount of movies. I watched Mulholland Drive. I finally finished that. Oh my gosh. I can't even call it a movie. It's literally like an art experience. It's like one of the craziest things. Jordan described it perfectly of just like he doesn't remember much of it. Like I had it like it was similar to Enemy where I had to watch 2 explainer videos at like 2 a.m. to like wrap my mind around it before I went to bed because I was like, what the
Dude,
fuck did I just
watch
watch?
Twin Peaks, Cameron. You're gonna feel the same about that TV show.
Really?
You're like, what? Because there's some out of there. It's cool because you do have like an entertaining thriller detective story,
Yeah.
but then
Mhm.
like there's so many
Weird
weird
things. Yeah.
out of there
Yeah.
things
And
where
there's
you're
a
Yeah,
like,
and
moment in that
bro.
show that is just like that bar scene, Cameron, that like gave you
really?
chills.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and there was just there was like multiple scenes where I'm like, why am I so afraid and feel so much dread and horror? And like I'm like, is it the score? Like, why am I so uncomfortable? Why am I so confused? Like, I don't know. Like, and it was like another thing that like made me uneasy the entire movie is like there was like a level of cheese that made it feel like a commercial that like it like made me even more uncomfortable. Like it felt like everyone was overacting in a lot of scenes, and I was
Yeah.
like,
It's funny.
I'm
Even
like,
I felt that
what is
way in
going
Twin Peaks.
on?
Like it felt like almost not soap opera but like it feels like,
Yeah, it's like cheesy, but it's horrifying. I'm like,
yeah.
what is going on? I'm like, why am I so like it kind of reminds me honestly of like Get Out. You know, the scenes where they're like, is there anything I can do to help you?
Yeah.
It's lovely to have. He was just telling me how he's pleased to have the presence of another
I,
African American, and you're like, yo, what is going on?
yeah.
So that's how I felt like throughout Mulholland Drive. I was like, what? It took. I mean, I started it at like 1 a.m. So then I finished it like another night, really late again. I overall enjoyed it. The explainer video made me enjoy it a lot more. So for me, it was like solid 6 out of 10. Um, I mean, like so interesting. I would only ever watch it again for someone else to watch someone else experience it for the first time. But and then watched Ricky Stenicki. It's got Zac
Zac
Efron
Efron.
and John Cena. I was it's a really clever premise, essentially just like these three best friends who create this like fake persona to get them out of trouble. And so anytime that they're about to get in trouble, like, oh, Ricky told me to do it, or like Ricky sold me these fireworks, Ricky sold me the weed. And so they create this fake
He's the fall
persona.
guy, but
Yeah,
he's not
exactly.
real.
Yeah, exactly. And then like they even use it when they're married to like get out of like going to baby showers or like wedding showers and they've created like a fake Instagram for Ricky Stenicki and they have like this holy Bible of like everything that Ricky,
Lore that he did.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything that he's done.
And they
And
give it
then
to John Cena. Yeah.
and then and it's fun because then like you start to find out that they've also been using Ricky without adding to the Bible because it's only supposed to ever be used for when it benefits all three of them. And then you find out that each of them have been
I've been
using
abusing Ricky.
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit. And so then he's like, yo, because like one of them is he's like, oh yeah, I might have told my that me and Ricky dated a while back. And he's like,
funny.
what? He's like, and then they hire John Cena to try to play this Ricky Stenicki, and then he's like,
Oh,
right,
that's
so you're
funny.
and he's like,
Yeah.
wait, he's like, I read the Bible and that wasn't in there. And he goes, yeah, I never told him that. And there's like a bunch of things like that just it's just really
That's
fun.
kind
It's
of
one of
funny,
those like
yeah.
it's one of those like typical like big lie movies where it's like how long can it last until it explodes, but it was enjoyable. It's all 6 out of 10 for me, and I like laughed a decent amount. John Cena, I always am so impressed with like his comedic timing is pretty impressive. I always forget that I'm like, oh yeah, you're actually like
Yeah,
pretty
Ty,
smart. Like
you would
Look
like
no
it a,
further.
a
I'll definitely
lot.
check out that. I was
Yeah.
just thinking, watch the Suicide Squad. If you had any doubts that he's funny, dude, he's
yeah,
got some comedic time.
yeah,
He was pretty
that's
funny in
Peacemaker.
Blockers too. Was he in that? I think he
Yeah.
played Blockers, which was
And then I watched Bar Fight, which is a short that Jordan showed us, which is it's literally I in my review I said this is pretty much exactly what my older brother Jordan would draw during our church meetings growing up when we were bored. And
That's
yeah,
true.
that's literally what it is. It was enjoyable, a solid 7 out of 10. And then I watched If last night
John
in the theaters.
Krasinski's, Ryan Reynolds, the
Yeah.
Imaginary Friends thing.
I mean, I went in expecting it to be 4 out of 10, and it was a 4 out of 10. So, like I thought it was super cheesy, but it was wholesome, which was I was kind of expecting a mix of that, and it's honestly just like I think you'll like it, Ty, because I mean I think it's just more relatable if you have children, and if you are a dad
It's
because
because Ty likes trash.
and so just because it's like it's a really the concept
What a
is
backhanded
interesting.
compliment.
The concept is interesting because it's like the idea of this girl who her mother passes away, and then her dad, who's John Krasinski, is always trying to like lighten the mood and be like kind of play like the fun dad, and then she's always just like not having it. And it's because she's essentially trying to be an adult because she doesn't want to feel like the emotions she felt as a kid. And then it's essentially like talking about trying not to grow up too quick as a kid, and that it's okay to be a kid, which I
It's-
thought was fun.
Yeah, because you know what our
it's-
society needs? Perpetual adolescence, because kids are growing up too fast these days. My goodness, you have kids that are like 40 years old still living in their parents' basement. When are you gonna die so I can inherit the house, you freaking old bag? Man, where are you going? I'm gonna get my car, Grandma. Shut up, you old bag.
And then
It's freaking kids today, dude.
and then I also watched Wheels on Meals, and
Ty, I've recommended this movie to you so many times. You need to watch
What's it called?
and so
Meals on
I said
Wheels?
Wheels on Meals.
Wheels
And
on Meals.
I said this.
Wheels?
Stop saying meals weird, Jordan. Like Mel's,
Me-
Dude, he's from
Meows.
Utah. He has a
Meows.
Utah
Yeah.
accent, Cameron, which is so weird because I don't have it. You don't have it. Jordan
Meows.
has it.
Meows.
Mom has it. My mother-in-law
But
has it. I don't know
and
what
so
that
it
is.
says in my letterbox review, I said this movie is exactly what Fall Guy wished it was. It's like if Good Burger and Court Jester had a Chinese baby and it was beautiful and named Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Ty, it's so good.
And
Just
the stunts in this movie are insane.
Dude, it's got my boy. Well, not only Jackie Chan, but it's the guy from Project A. I didn't even know this was a movie. I don't remember you ever recommending it, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in my watch list.
I've recommended it many times to you. That's okay.
Many
but-
times.
But yeah, it was insane. The stunts were hilarious. The physical comedy is really solid.
Oh, it reminds me of Peter Sellers' Pink Panther. Ty, it's hilarious.
It's literally
Dude,
Court
Jackie
Jester
Chan's
and
got
Good
that
Burger.
physical comedy, man.
No, dude.
Yeah,
Ty,
but it's one of my favorite Jackie Chan movies, dude.
Ty, it's literally the plot of
Good Burger.
It's like the
And Court Jester.
and Court Jester mix. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
There's
it's
the
crazy
Purple
seeing Jackie-
Pimpernel.
I didn't
Prince
realize
to
I didn't
be.
realize how old Jackie Chan was in Rush Hour until watching this, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like
He's a
in this-
child.
like yeah, like I'm like he's a child, like in his 20s, like he looks so young in this, and it's so fun to see him, and like just the whole dynamic I thought was like really well played, and it's got like that slight bit of like 80s cheese but it just the right amount that it's like, okay, this is really good.
Yeah. Might
So
have
really,
been late 70s, but maybe it was early 80s.
No, I think it was like an
it was
84
it was
film.
84.
Oh, okay. Early 80s.
And I'm not gonna pretend I knew that. I put it on my watch list for Letterboxd and it said 84. So
And then
I just pulled that out of it. Oh, I believe that's an 84 Jackie Chan film.
and then I also watched the first episode of Pokemon because I was like, maybe I'll give Pokemon a chance.
Indigo League or what?
Yeah, just the original. And then
Heck yeah.
first episode's fire, but and then I also started watching.
Just wait till you watch Butterfree Leave and you're gonna start crying. You're like,
I
oh,
did.
I'm crying at
I
Pokemon.
rewatched it and I did cry.
Pikachu's like crying, and you're like, why the freak am I crying? And this plush
Yeah.
toy is crying because some
but-
insect is flying away.
I watched half of another like a Pokemon movie, a newer one. Dude, Brock is top. He's Mount Rushmore of men of all time.
Yes.
Whoa,
It's
what a
so
knockout!
It's so funny every time, and even in this is like Generation 4, and he's like, Nurse Joy, thanks so much for your help, and if I could ever take you out,
Dude, he
I'll
is
be the
simping. He is
happiest person."
simping hard for Nurse Joy, for the police lady. I don't know what her name is.
Yeah, for all of the
Yeah, nurse, the police chief, the lady, all the.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
then
I love just girls that always ignore him. It's just
they just
don't
ignore
even acknowledge him.
And then I'm excited to continue obviously watching the House of Dragon, and then I saw a trailer for Transformers 1 in the theaters yesterday, which I was like, looks kind of interesting. It's like animated. I know Ty's gonna hate it, but like I love Transformers, and especially I used to watch like the cartoon growing up. So I'm excited. This is like talking about essentially it's
That
talking
sounded more
about
like
Optimus
Skeletor, but
and Megatron, like how they kind of became to be who they were. And then another one that I added to my watch list was Beautiful Boy, because that's one that's been on my watch list for a while. But then I just had a buddy watch it, and he said that it was like really sad and really good.
This
It's
Steve Carell and Timothy.
Steve Carell, yeah, and Timothy, and it's just essentially just about like a son trying to overcome addiction. So, and I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited to watch it.
Beautiful Boy.
Hi.
So movies that I watched recently. Let me look at my letterbox. So I watched a movie called The Father, starring Anthony Hopkins.
You were so resistant to watch that. Now
Have you guys seen this?
you gave it high reviews, so I'm
Have you guys seen it?
No,
You guys
no, no,
haven't
no.
seen it? Bro, watch it. I don't want to spoil it. Watch the movie and you'll be like, wow,
isn't Sun like a sequel or is it a prequel?
Son isn't anything. This is its
Oh,
own
I thought
movie. It's
no,
called
I
The
thought there
Father.
was like Father, and then I thought he made a film later called Sun.
If you did, I haven't seen it.
What
And I
about
don't
him being
believe
like
it
a
is.
serial killer that like losing his memory? Or
That's Memoirs of a Murderer. No.
oh, that's what you talked about.
I made a joke about The Father because I know the premise of the movie,
You
but I don't
said
want to
it
spoil
should have been
because
meshed with.
well, yeah, because I was joking because Anthony Hopkins plays like the most famous serial killer cannibal of all time, Hannibal Lecter. And
But that's
it's
why I
like,
said it's funny. You were so resistant to watch Father. You're like, I don't want to watch Father. And now you're
only
like,
I was
okay.
joking about it because like it's one of those things where my mother-in-law was like pushing it on me so hard. I'm like, yo, chill the freak out. I'll watch it. All right.
Yeah.
But then
like
I'm
going
like,
with Invincible with me. I was like, all right, chill. And he's
I
like,
know, like chill. I'll get to it when I get to it. I'll take care of it when I take care of
When I
it.
take care of it.
That's how I feel when you push something on me too much. It's like, yo, I need my space. So I finally watched it though, and I was like, yeah, this is a great film, and I get why she likes it. And then, but I always joke because I'm like, after you watch it, for those that have seen it, it's a horror movie for your parents. You're like, hey man, this is what's gonna happen to you if you don't you get out of line, mom or dad. Anyway, watch the movie. It's great. The Father's great. So highly recommend it. Anthony Hopkins, stellar performance. And I really enjoyed not only the concept, but the way they went about doing this movie. Very, very well done. I'd say what it's like, but I don't want to spoil what it's like until you guys have seen it, and then I'll tell you what movies it reminds me of. So anyway, I also watched a very interesting movie called The Whale, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Such a stupid movie. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. And
I love
he's
it.
completely in his right to make indulgent films like this. This movie stinks to high heaven, dude. This movie's awful. Like Brendan Fraser's performance was great. I'm gonna start with the good, and that's about where my praise ends. Like I think he did a good job.
I'm gonna quote what's his name from Superman Returns? What's the bald guy?
Oh,
Wrong. That's what
Kevin
I think of
Spacey.
your.
Whoa, Jordan, we don't quote Kevin Spacey on this podcast. He's too controversial. Although I think wasn't he acquitted? I think he's
I
making a
think
comeback.
so. Yeah.
Let's go. They just bring back House of Cards. He's like, it turns out I wasn't dead the whole time. No, I'm president again, baby. Let's go. Anyway, The Whale. Yeah, Darren Aronofsky, dude. I gotta be honest. I don't think I like many of his films. I don't like a single one. I watched Requiem for a Dream. Like, I think he is a very interesting director where his films are the least rewatchable out of any director.
Yorgos
Ain't-
Lanthimos, his films are
Don't even know
so.
his film. What's The Road? Did he
That
do The Road?
No, he did that
Okay.
new movie with Emma Stone where she was like Frankenstein that had
Oh, yeah,
Little
Poor
Things.
Things.
yeah, Poor Things. He does
Yeah,
the most.
don't think I watched.
Well, The Lobster was rewatchable. That was his only rewatchable.
Well, there you go.
movie.
He has at least one. I can't name a single film by Darren Aronofsky that I'd like to see again, let alone see the first time. I'm dreading it. I'm not
I've-
going to go and watch The Wrestler because I haven't seen it because I heard it's good.
I
I watched
rewatched
Requiem for a
Requiem
Dream.
like a
I tried to
million
watch
times.
Noah to no avail. I tried to watch The Whale. Just like a complete flatliner.
I've watched Whale so many times
Let me
now.
even give you the premise because I even think the premise is good on its face. A guy is eating himself to death because of his like loved one took his life.
Spoilers.
So,
Oh, did you watch it yet, Cameron?
Nope.
Cameron, I'm doing you a service, okay? This
No,
movie
it's
is a
so good.
prequel to the movie Seven. Remember when Kevin Spacey, John Doe murdered Gluttony? This is the
This is
prequel
literally
to
Gluttony.
Seven. This is
This is.
Gluttony. Watching Brendan Fraser take pizza and then smear jelly from peanut butter jelly on the pizza and just eating it. And
No,
then the
it's ranch.
music-
He is dumping
No,
ranch.
he does jelly and then he also does ranch.
No,
And
he does a
this-
sandwich. It was separate. He was just like,
No, he puts jelly on pizza, bro. Watch it again. I just watched it. Don't tell me what I saw. It's disgusting. It's grotesque. It's disgusting. Now get this. I even think you could do an interesting story because I just told Cameron the plot of it.
I
and
know.
you
I
could
love
say,
as he's like
that's an interesting
vomiting,
premise.
and then he starts eating again. You're just like, oh.
Or even like starts choking on his sub sandwich, and he's like, "Use the chair,
Did you see-
armchair." Gah,
Did you see?
gosh, just elbowing him, and he
I don't. It
pukes out the
reminded
freaking
me
thing.
of What About Bob? He's jumping in
know.
the air.
Hit him harder.
Hit him harder. And then I was thinking too of Matilda, and he's like, chew your food, you're an animal.
Yes, I was like, he could have used the caretaker. She was the good part about the movie. I think the adopted daughter, she was really cool. But this movie was baffling. I don't know what it is like, because to me, I even said, I was like, I think he's trying to make me fat phobic, and like, because this movie is so freaking indulgent. Like I said, you can do an interesting story about a character that deals with this.
That's so
But
funny.
they play horror music, Cameron, when he's like eating a lot. It's weird. Like
I love it.
it's so off-putting.
It made
and
me hungry.
This
I was
movie
like-
was more gruesome than Saw. And that's a movie about a guy cutting his own foot off with a hacksaw. Okay. Like this movie is more gruesome than that. I was more disgusted with this film than I was with Saw.
But
I don't know. I don't even know.
you
how
nailed
that's
it. You nailed
possible.
it with the it being the beginning of Seven. I love that. You should have wrote that in your review. It's perfect. It's
I didn't want to
gluttony.
spoil it. Yeah. Well, okay. Well,
Oh.
there was 100 jokes I wrote for this movie, but like I was just like,
Maybe we'll just
I
have-
hated it. I feel bad because like again, I don't even want to say like again, Darren Aronofsky, he keeps getting funding for movies. I'm glad that he makes movies. He even said in interviews, and I've showed you guys these. I posted them to you or sent them to you. I don't know if you watched them, but he's literally like, oh well, if some people get a reaction, a lot of people were laughing, and another theater people were crying, and he's like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like I just want people
I
to have
cry.
a reaction, and I'm like. But I almost feel like it's almost like that's not even fair because at first I was like, oh, that's commendable. But then I'm like, no, that's like a cop out because you're like, oh, people don't know how to interpret my movie. So I guess I'm a great filmmaker. It's
Sounds like Tommy
your movie's
Wiseau.
bonkers, dude. Your movie's all over the place and it speaks to some people. Some people fall for it because you're supposed to feel all sentimental at the end. I laughed out loud and I'm not supposed to be laughing. Jordan, you mentioned it. Like, it's not the tone. Or Cameron, you said it. You're like, I was laughing, but it wasn't the tone they were going for. The freaking end, he literally gasps and looks up to heaven and he dies in that instant. And it's just, it's so
Beautiful.
empty. I laughed out loud.
It's
He's
beautiful.
like, oh, it's like
Oh,
when
I
the
love
essay is
that.
so good. Oh,
Yeah.
so dumb. It's such a
So
stupid
good.
movie.
Oh, I
Such a bad
disagree.
movie, Cameron. Yeah, Cameron.
It's a
Watch
masterpiece
the
in my
movie though,
opinion.
because I had such a strong reaction to it. Jordan loves it. He gave it a 5 stars. I gave it 1.5.
I
So you should watch it, Cameron, and just be like, dude, where do I sit on
I
this?
loved it so much. I rewatched it with my wife, and she loved it. I recommend it to Clinton.
I
He
showed my wife some highlights reels of
Clint,
watching Brendan
Clint,
Fraser eating and stuffing his face, choking
Clinton
on sub
loved it.
sandwiches.
Clinton loved it. He watched it with his wife. She loved it. Alex loved it. I'm just saying. It's
Clinton's
not.
wife, our sister.
Yeah.
I need
It's
to
like
do
Clinton's wife
one
watched
thing
it.
Yeah.
right. All I could think of
What I'm
was
saying is
Tommy want wingy. That's all I thought the
this
whole time I watched
this is
movie.
me 6 years and 600 pounds ago.
I should have won that tournament. That's all I could think about, dude. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Dude, this movie, yeah.
hilarious.
Dude, I love The Whale. And I
Dude,
love
I
the
could hear Brendan Fraser getting fatter. All right.
Yeah.
This movie is just so gross. Don't watch this movie, Cameron.
Watch it.
Indulge it. It's
dude,
painful.
Colton loves it, although he loves a lot of movies.
Colton loves everything.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, wait,
love
Cole
everything.
or Colton?
Colton.
My roommate.
Really? Oh no, your roommate. Anyway, like I said, to me, like I said, I feel like there's an interesting story, but it's almost like fat bad. And how many times we have to watch him struggle with the same thing? It's like
It doesn't
it's so
have
dang repetitive.
yeah.
So
Sorry,
dang
you're
repetitive.
very much what is it called? Like that's not what it's about. It's not fat bad. It's like he's suffering through all these things and
Yeah,
he's turning
I
to
understand, and it's self-inflicted. And part of me is like, look, you could do it in interesting ways.
well, you're
where it's like,
oversimplifying. That's what I was trying to say. Because you're just saying
Literally
fat
said
bad.
oversimplification, and then you were
Thank
like,
no, Darren Aronofsky's like, what if there was a character and he's fat? And that's it. That's the movie. It's like, and you watch a fat character be fat. Awesome. I like the missionary thing. I thought that guy was interesting. I like the daughter
too.
because she was so despicable.
She
And
was
the
the
ex-wife. She was,
worst.
this is so funny to hear you say it because, like, who are you reading?
I'm
You're
not
rooting
rooting
him
for no. I'm not
Okay.
rooting for anybody. I even said that in my review. These are horrible people. I said, if you relate to anybody in this movie, you need to seek therapy. I just love how he writes. It feels like a stage play. Like everything just flows.
I know what Jordan likes about this movie. He likes two things. One, I need to know I did one thing right in
Oh,
my life.
that moment makes me
Sure.
cry.
I know
love it.
I know it. I knew that's the moment. And again, that's where the star comes
No,
from.
but
Brendan Fraser
he
shines.
is
He's a
wrong
great
though.
actor.
He's not right in thinking that because that's a terrible way to think. Giving money to your kids is somehow a
Yeah,
good
that
thing.
somehow makes
That's
everything
not,
right. Or
no,
yeah,
it doesn't. And they
true.
need their father. They don't need
I
money.
didn't even say it was right. I'm just saying I know that's the scene that you like because it resonated with you, and you're like, wow, that's like
No,
really
that was
interesting and
one of
sad.
many things. Like there's so much that resonated. I love this movie.
And then when the essay's so good, you throw your head back.
The reason though I didn't pick this movie is because I knew you probably wouldn't like it. You're not a Darren head like me, and so I'm not gonna.
Maybe because I'm just so scared of being fat myself. I just need to internalize my own fat phobia, and then maybe I can get over it and watch this movie.
No. It's okay
Maybe
because
it's because I love my ranch on pizza, and this movie upset me. And maybe not want. I lost my appetite.
like,
I haven't lost my
"Is this
appetite
gonna
since the
happen
movie
to me?"
Slither. Okay, Slither. Remember
Slither was
Slither? That giant
disgusting.
lit. Yeah,
yeah.
this movie was more grotesque than Slither.
Yeah. Don't get me right. It was gross but a lot of the other food he was eating, like that meatball sub, I was like, ooh, that sounds so good right now. From Firehouse
Just
Sub.
listening to breathe and wheezing, dude. It was
Yeah.
freaking. It's Always Sunny Philadelphia. It's like, dude, are you wheezing right now? He's like eating.
But
And he's
you
like, dude, I can hear
you used to
wheezing.
make all those kind of jokes growing up, like so. I just thought
That's why this movie feels so childish. Like it's so dumb. It's
Mm.
like, oh, fat is so hard. Jordan, there's like scenes where you're looking at him and you're supposed to be horrified by what you're looking at. Like the scenes of him getting up. He's a fetching monster. They literally play this music where he's like,
I love every movie he makes. He hits like the worst parts of people that indulge too much in something, like or just some people that struggle with things. Like I think
Right.
he.
So you want to
And-
talk about a director who only his one note movie is people that overindulge, and it's like this is a movie about a
Not
guy
one
that
note. You keep
overindulges.
saying one note. He encapsulates
Requiem for a
exactly.
Dream is the same
yes,
movie. Wrestlers, the same movie as this. It's
yes.
three
but
movies. He's made it 3 times.
That's
It's
what
the
I'm saying.
same
Is
movie.
he encapsulate what it is to feel that? And I
I don't know. I've met people that are like 300 pounds or walking with two, a walker, a cane. They have a hard time getting up and out, and it's like sad. But dude, the pizza delivery guy, he sees him and he's like, oh,
Yeah,
he
his-
recoils in fear. And I'm like, this guy's been bringing this guy pizza, 2 large pizzas every day for a week. And he's like surprised that the guy is fat. He's been bringing him 2 large pizzas every freaking day of the week. And he like, hey man, hope you're doing good. And then he leaves. And then like
I
he comes out to get
love-
his pizza and he
I
like
know.
looks out and he sees him and he's like, huh.
I
He, like,
know.
runs away. And you're like,
Listen,
bro, if I delivered a pizza to a guy, I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, he's fat. It's like you're freaking giving him cheesy large pizzas, man. Of course
well,
he's a big guy.
I think
Didn't get
yes,
that.
I agree with you. I think, and I don't
So
think it's
funny.
it's perfect for me, but there's things about it.
You think I'm grotesque? You think I'm disgusting? I can
Yes.
quote this. Yes.
No, but those flaws, Ty, are reasons I love it even more because it's not perfect.
Wait. Speaking of Furiosa, this movie also fits that. He goes, hey, that's literally what he says to the missionary kid. He's like, you're a child, please.
You're a fetus. That's what he
You're a
calls him.
fetus. Yeah, you're a fetus.
Dude,
please.
this movie, maybe we should have talked about it in the pod because I could talk about this movie for another hour, but
Oh, I will. So if we do it, I have many things to say. I don't think I can watch it again though, but I'd be happy.
it's seriously.
That's why I'm doing it now. I'm doing the mini review now because I hope to never talk about this movie again. But I like Brendan Fraser. I was
I
excited
just
to see him
thought-
in Killers of the Flower Moon. I think we're having a Fraser sans. Good.
I love
wanna see
Brendan
him get-
Fraser after
yeah,
this
I think he's
film.
great.
Oh my gosh.
And again,
just-
he did fine. His performance was fine. I just feel like the director and I think if I met Darren Aronofsky in person, I would try to prank him. Like someone would crouch behind him and I'll push him over.
He's
It's like
made, I'm
what I'd like
surprised
to
he's
do.
not in my top 10 favorite directors because he's made 4 films I absolutely love. I love Black Swan, love Wrestler, love Requiem for a Dream, and Whale. I've watched all those movies so many
All
times.
4 of those movies are the same movie.
Yes, exactly.
It's a character that's too obsessed and goes too far. And it's like,
yeah. No,
It's the
it's
same
no,
movie
it's
both
about their
times.
struggle and you feel their struggle. You
no, it's
literally
a
can feel it.
person that's overindulgent in the thing that
Anyways,
they're doing.
we'll talk
Black
in
Swan,
circles
she's
about
too
that.
wrapped up in her performance as the Black Swan, ballet dancing, too obsessed with it. The
Ye-
wrestler, too obsessed with being a washed up wrestler, has been. Requiem for a Dream. What is it? Drugs? I don't
Drugs.
know. Yeah. And then this movie, Eating. It's like, yes, same movie, different trials. They all have different trials, but it's like every single one of them is gluttony for whatever it is that they're
But
doing. and you
every
watch their
time
life
he
fall
does
apart.
it, he hits it at an interesting angle, and I disagree. You are
The angles were the
oversimplifying.
double chins, yes. Or Brendan Fraser's multiple chins, not just double. Freaking grotesque body, dude. It's so
Oh,
disgusting.
that's beautiful. That fat suit. Oh,
But
man.
also, like, dude, I didn't get the whole thing where he's like, zoom camera on. Oh, my students look at me. And
See,
they're like,
that's the other part that I think that it cracks me up. I'm like, if he's a big guy, like,
yeah,
it's
who the
not
freak
that-
cares? He's like,
who
he's like your
cares?
literary professor. I'd be like, my literary professor's fat. I guess I'm gonna have to recontextualize all of his opinions.
yeah,
What are you talking about?
it's just
No one
I think
thinks this way.
no,
55% of America is obese. We don't
Yeah,
care that Brendan
don't.
Fraser is that much fatter.
Yeah,
we don't
no,
care.
I think what people would be more surprised about is like, oh, I'm seeing him for the first time, and it's like, I think that's the actual reaction.
It was great. You see, like one student, she's like, "Oh, it's so funny because he's fat. It's funny because he's fat." This movie came out in 2022, guys.
I
More
know.
people are morbidly obese than ever.
Yeah,
Like I'm just
It's-
saying, this movie, if this came out in like the early 2000s, I would have thought more of it for sure. If it came out in the 80s and you had like thin people everywhere,
well, that's what it
Oh.
was. That's why it's a time period because you even saw the camera ratio, like it's made back
Oh.
in. Yeah, and they don't have. I don't even think they have cell phones, do they? Oh, they
Bro,
do.
this guy's white trash. I didn't get the vibe
Where's
that I
Facebook?
think this took place yesterday, but he's trailer trash. So he lives
I think it's
in, like,
90s. It's
yeah.
the 90s. Yeah. Because
But even
no,
then,
it's
excusable.
early 2000s. I think. I don't know. Anyways,
Again, it's still if it takes place in America, if he was some like third world country and he was finding a way to get fat like that, because dude, watch Furiosa. There's some girl in the green place that is as big as he is, and I'm like, I didn't know the whale was in Furiosa. That's great.
yeah.
And then again,
Eh,
Cameron, I thought the whale was going to be Brendan Fraser, and yes, it's all talking about Moby Dick. And
Cameron, if you do want to
What-
watch The Whale, let me. Moby, what? Cameron, if you do watch The Whale, let me know, please. I will drive down to watch it with you. Oh my gosh.
oh, dude, I would not watch that movie again if you paid me. Anyway, strong feelings. I just had to get those out here. Lastly, I'm gonna
Darren,
end
keep
on a
making
good one.
them. I don't
Making them.
care. I don't
Keep making the
making
same movie.
Yes,
It's good old
please.
One Note. I'm gonna call him good old One Note from now
Except Ty,
on.
he didn't. Oh, I forgot to mention, I love Mother as well. That one is very much nothing like the other ones.
Mother.
It's a biblical
Oh
retelling.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's
I
the
love
movie he made
Mother.
about the Bible, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm woman, and this is man, and this is Christ, and he's gonna eat him." I don't know. I just think it's pretty much the same thing. I don't know.
No, it's nothing like the other ones. But yes, those four are he does then he does his Bible movies off to the side.
Yeah, and then Noah is mother. I mean, it's not. But
Oh, and then the
it's
fountain. The fountain, two thumbs down. I'm sorry.
okay, thank you. Another great example. This guy is so far up. Darren Aronofsky loves to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
He
well.
thinks he's the next best thing since sliced bread, and he's
I disagree. He's made
polarizing. I'm
5
glad. I looked through
amazing
reviews.
movies.
It seems pretty split, Cameron. Half the people like The Whale. The other half of the people fell under the folds of Brendan Fraser's skin and died and suffocated to death. So anyway,
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of a movie, but I don't
I
want to
made
say
fun
the
of
movie
your
because I'll
review
spoil
too,
it.
Jordan. I made fun of your review where I was like, at the end when he gets up, he's approaching Charging Rhino, and the daughter's reading the poem. She's like, "Read it faster and get out of the way. He's gonna collapse on top of you." In fact, the movie ends and it's an ambiguous ending. I'm pretty sure he falls over and kills her. Good riddance, dude. She's got the scum of the earth for a daughter. She's
Oh
the
yeah, she is.
worst.
Well, and I wrote in my review, I
Worst.
just said she doesn't need a therapist. She needs an exorcism because she is Satan, dude. She is
Well,
the.
she's also a ginger. She had no soul to begin with, so I already knew from the beginning she was going
That's
to be
right.
bad news. But she did a good job performing again. Like again, the performances aren't the problem. It's Darren Aronofsky. Something needs to be
A
done about
master
him.
storyteller. No, keep going. I say
Someone
keep
needs.
going.
I say we need to put a kick me sign on his back because he's just a big dork. He thinks
Okay,
he's
guys. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're gonna be a
Yes.
slacker.
You're a freaking slacker.
All right.
Anyway,
What
and
else?
lastly, I watched a great Netflix show called Tires, Shane Gillis's
That was fun.
comedy vehicle. Such a funny show. I am a big fan of what's his name? Willie? No, Matt. What's his name? The
Oh
store
yeah,
owner.
the
What's his
comedy
name?
guy you listen to, Cameron. He does stand up
Shane
comedy.
Gillis.
Shane
Shane
Gillis.
Gillis.
Yeah, I know
But
Shane.
but what's his
He's in
name?
the
Will.
TV show.
Will is the guy that owns the tire store, or like he's the manager. He's got like a thing with his fingers or something. I don't know, but he's hilarious. And he's like not an attractive lead. Everyone in the show is kind of ugly, which I freaking love. Like it's the most real down to earth show I've seen in a
It
long
reminds me a
time.
lot of Trailer Park Boys. Meets Danny McBride from Vice Principals and
The Office,
Righteous
maybe.
Righteous Gemstones.
I throw a little bit of The Office only because, like, again, you had like an inept person. Like, because at first, like, I was thinking, oh, is he like Boyle
Maybe
from?
the rated R version of The Office.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
No, not
that's right.
sure. Very much so. It is.
Well, I'm not saying it's not
a
rated
hard
R. I'm
R.
just saying, like, yeah, you're like, oh, like, is it much fouler than The Office? Sure. Like,
Yeah, so it's F bombs every 2 seconds and dirty
well,
jokes every 2 seconds.
sure. Well, I wouldn't say like every 2 seconds for the dirty jokes. There's definitely some jokes where
Eh,
it's like what is it? The carrot or whatever. The freaking 5-year engagement. It's Chris Pratt.
yeah,
That's his character. That's
yeah,
freaking Shane Gillis. He's the funny fat guy.
Chewbacca's.
yeah. Exactly. That's who he
Yeah,
is.
that's the humor. You should seriously give Tires a chance because it's hilarious. And they're 20-minute episodes. After you watch the first episode, I couldn't stop watching. I was laughing
It was
out
funny.
loud.
Yeah.
So funny. So highly recommend it. I watched
I
your bar
recommended it
fight.
to Corey because he works at a car shop.
He's like,
But
why would I want to watch a job or like watch my job?
yeah,
Like,
that's
this
what I
is
told
my
him. I'm like,
everyday
you
life.
probably won't want to because it's just like another day at work.
I'm just watching work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching people do what I do for a job. And then I watched your bar fights short story. I gave it 5 stars. I just like, boy, that really got out of hand.
If you want 20-minute episodes of that, they have Super Gel, but it might be too much for you. So
Super jail. I've heard you mention that before.
yeah, because the art is visual heroin to somebody like me. It's just because that guy got worked with Adult Swim and then he made a TV show like that. So every episode is just like constant stimulation, like Cameron's
I'll
level
look
of
up what's-
stimulation with Spider-Man.
And that's what's so funny that you say that. You're like, I can't watch Baby Driver's just like a 2 hour long music video, and then you like things like that. Or you're like,
My brain.
Okay.
Because
I've seen the
I do have to take a
artwork
break
for
every once in a while. I go through cycles.
Super jail.
But yeah, if you liked that video and you want more, like I said, because somebody's review was really good, they're
4
like,
minutes is all right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what somebody wrote in their review. They're like, 4 minutes is good. Super jail. I mean, it's just like any more, too much. So
Yeah, I have a weird relationship to like what I don't know what to call it, like grotesque cartoons, I guess,
mm.
right? Like for some reason it made me think of like Aqua Super Teen Hunger Force or whatever a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, it's similar to that. Yeah,
A little bit of that, a
Beavis and Butthead.
little bit of Beavis and Butthead, right?
Yeah,
But anyway, I adult cartoons sometimes they speak to me. Like I don't know. Like I remember liking Family Guy, and I still think they have some funny early seasons. And then like I liked early Simpsons, but like all things, sometimes they just
I
either
have to
get too
take
big
Missy
or
out. Sorry, she's winning.
oh shoot. Hey Cameron, thanks again. Should we end now or
yeah.
Jordan? We haven't
Have
heard what
fun.
you're. I gotta say what I'm
You can
looking
read my
forward to.
letterbox.
Read my letterbox. No, no one listened to this podcast knows what letterbox is. So you have to feed them. You have to feed them. Okay, real quick, Cameron. Things I'm looking forward to. Well, you can go, Cameron. Anyway.
You can leave.
Well, I want to hear. I want to hear real quick.
Yeah. So okay, so I put in one. I'm gonna watch the Wiggles on Animals. What does that say? Oh, Wheels on Meals. Excuse me, Wheels on Meals.
Wiggles on and animals.
So one thing I thought was really cool with Letterbox is you can find movies that are similar to other movies better than IMDb. IMDb like it gives you like the other four like loosely movies. It's like, oh, that's the same director, so you might also like this. Yes, but this one like gives you similar movies. There's one called The Clove Hitch Killer. It was recommended off of the movie Prisoners, so I'm gonna watch that tonight. It's on Netflix. The Clove Hitch
I
Killer.
own it too, but okay.
Yeah, you have to be on Netflix, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to watch it. Because I can't pay for it otherwise. The movie Long Legs, which Jordan and I have talked about the
Oh,
trailer. Did you watch
tight.
the other trailer? Both
Hey,
don't spoil it.
yeah, yeah.
So awesome.
Okay, so the same director. I just bought his movie or her. I don't know who directed it, but Gretel.
Androgynous
I
Gretel and Hansel.
they
Hansel.
Gretel and Hansel. Dude, I just bought it.
Okay, maybe I'll have
I
to give that one a
started it
watch.
and I love it so far. I'm like, ooh, this is what I get to look forward to with long legs.
Did you buy tickets to A Violent Nature in A Violent Nature, Jordan?
I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Yes.
Jason Voorhees walking
Yeah.
through the forest. It's literally Jordan's. Did you watch the trailer, Cameron? He's just
Yes.
like it's literally like an ASMR experience where he's just strolling through the woods and then like teens happen to drive by and he kills them and keeps walking. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like a nature walk
Jordan
with
does
the
on a
serial
casual
killer.
Friday night playing Friday the 13th.
Yes.
That's
It's literally
literally-
playing
yeah.
Friday the 13th. So I get to watch it
Yeah.
now. It's great.
Now you can still watch it. I'm like literally saw that and I was like, that is so Jordan. So anyway, I had to mention that here. And then the other movies, obviously Wolverine, Deadpool, Deadpool 3. Looking forward to that. I'll go see that in theaters. I still need to see Godzilla -1. Iron Claw, we're gonna watch Cameron next week, right? Okay, so I'll have to watch that. Monkey Man and Nosferatu. So really excited to see all those movies. And then one last one, In Land of Saints and Sinners.
Who was flickering the lights? Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
What
That's
is that?
SpongeBob, dude. It's
Oh,
the night
SpongeBob.
shift with
The
the
hash
Critters.
slasher.
The hash singing slasher. The hash
slinging. The
crash.
the
So in the
hash-
Lands of Saints and Sinners, it looks like the Banshees of Inisherin. It's got Liam Neeson and the guy that plays in Persuasion. He also plays King Herod in like the Nativity story. Great actor. It's in a lot of good movies. But anyway, in the Land of the Saints and Sinners, and it looks freaking great, dude. Liam Neeson and freaking, and it's like a dramatic. Robert Lawrence directs it. I'm really excited to see it. Anyway,
Hash singing.
Oh, and we never get to tell people what to look forward to. We're gonna review what's the movie, Cameron?
we actually know
Iron
Iron
Claw.
Claw. Cameron's gonna make us watch Iron Claw.
Well, he tried to get us watch it
Do you
ages
come from an
ago.
abusive family? Tune in next week.
Yeah, I'm really excited to rewatch this because it's one of probably like 15 movies that have made me cry in my life, and I wept in this movie. And
Jeez.
and Ty knows that I don't have a soul, so if this
Yeah,
made
dude, he didn't even
cry-
cry over the extermination of the Jews. He's like, oh, whatever. And then he's like, watches this one family. And he's
Spider-Man.
like, Zac Efron, kissing the fields, man.
And Spider-Man dying.
Although, did you guys
Tony.
hear? I just heard this. Zac Efron like injured his face. He's like now
he-
different.
Yeah, he hit his
like a
jaw.
horse
Is it just me or does he look more handsome? Is that how it works, dude? I'm not. I'm
I-
just saying, like he's freaking handsome, and now he's like more filled out. Because before he had like, what's that?
It's like handsome Squidward. The more he smash.
Yeah, he's like, I just got in a car wreck, and like, you look at Mark Hamill in a freaking Return of the or what's the second one? So you have A New Hope, and then Emperor Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back. You freaking look at Mark Hamill, his face is scarred up. It does not look good. And then you freaking have Zac Efron, who comes back and he's got like this giant jaw now. And I'm like, dude, freaking looks like
Because he has like metal in his jaw.
handsome Squidward, dude. Yeah.
Like the horse like kicked it and like I think like dislocated or like broke his jaw completely.
Wait, it was a
Ugh.
horse? I thought it was a car accident.
I thought it was
kicked-
a horse. I thought it was a horse on his farm or something like that that kicked him and then it like broke it.
Hmm.
I don't know. Regardless of what it happened,
I just heard he got in an accident.
everyone,
Yeah.
like
So
he did plastic surgery and then they found it like
the
oh,
horse
now
kicked him, and
horse
it's just like
died.
he's handsome Squidward. He looks
he's-
up, just giant cleft chin, dude. Dude, I'm just saying, like, good for you, but I'm also like, dude, is anyone like turned off by this guy? Like, he still looks as handsome as ever. I don't know. if
I know, that's
just
what I thought
best
too. I'm
plastic
like,
surgeon.
I always love in movies when they're like, you look horrible, and I'm like, he looks like a model.
Yeah, no, he is everyone in the movie Ironclaw is shredded.
Yeah, dude, he's a freaking meat boy, dude.
Yeah. I can't believe how much he beefed up for this role. I'm like, this is the same dude that was 17 again. And like what's his name from High School Musical?
Yeah, dude, he never ages, man. He's got all that adrenochrome. Jordan, you know about it. What was it? Sandra Bullock is lacing herself up with Korean children's skin or something like that. Can't remember what you were saying about
I gotta
that.
send you that clip. All right.
Please do, because
Peace,
Jordan's just
everybody.
unraveled the conspiracy here, folks. The if you want to stay young and youthful, wrap yourself in some adrenochrome. And there are today's sponsors. Korean children's baby skin. Apply it today. Guys, this has been Future Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye.
Furiosa. Yeah.